Well, welcome again to another Leslie Davis show. And here with my buddy Kelvin Burns.
How you doing?
I hope that message gets out there to those pork chop eating preachers or something.
Pasteurized, porkified, pulpit pimp, pork chop eating preachers.
Well, I really got something against them. They're going to come after us, I think.
I'll say it again. Pasteurized, porkified, pulpit pimps,
Well,
pork chop eating preachers. Stop paying this Cadillac bills.
I was sorry you were going to, worried you were going to say that again. But there we go. That's it. We're here to get the word out. We're fed up with the way things are. The status quo won't go. And we're going to be here and let you see the show. So, Kelvin, I don't want to get into all rhyming and stuff, but you've been around a little bit. What's that tattoo on your shoulder here?
Well, that was a part of the organization. Actually, I'm still a part of it.
The Melanics.
Yes. MELA.
Organization. What is that, like a corporation, a gang, or a clique, or what do you call them? The Melanics.
Well, it was a black movement, but we was for mankind. We help black people, white people. They pass out food in the Detroit, Michigan area. They all over. But now they got us labeled as a gang.
Who the feds labeled it Melanics or a gang?
What the Michigan State Penitentiary did after they had leaned on the brothers tried to lean on them for 3 months. And they got their butt kicked in the Upper Peninsula, Chippewa, this place called Earth. And then after they started that riot, and after they started that riot, they put brothers in the hole, and then they stopped us from having service, and they labeled it as a gang. But it's a long way from a gang.
When did they do that, label them a gang?
That was 2000, they labeled them as a gang, and they haven't had service in 15 years.
Once they call you a gang, it's pretty tough to overcome that label, It puts something in people's mind that's really negative.
Well, actually, they STG'd a lot of the brothers. We got guys that's leaders.
STG?
Security Threat Group. And it's a guy by the name of Kaleem Oglesby, a.k.a. Little O. They got him in a hole so you can make him stay longer, making him look bad. And I like to also say, how you doing, Fadi Mussolini?
Who's that?
A friend of the organization, Fadi Mussolini. And I like to say hello to Kaleem Oglesby that's in the hole for nothing.
Not now, maybe was, you mean?
Still is. He's in the hole now, and that's keeping them from coming home. Anytime they STG you, the parole board will look at that, and they'll make you stay longer, sabotaging your way of getting home. They'll sabotage, put obstacles in the way so you won't go home.
How long has he been in there?
He's probably been in there probably 20 years.
Man, what did he do to get in there?
I have the slightest.
I
have the slightest. But people paint these ugly pictures of certain people, and then they'll say, well, it's a gang.
Well, if you put a guy in a hole for a long period of time, it has a real negative psychological effect on a person.
Right.
A lot of it, and all depends. Well, there's holes and there's holes. You got these maximum security prisons. They put guys in, I think, 23 hours a day, and they only let them out for an hour to walk around in a little cage. That's pretty serious punishment.
Well, in the Michigan State Penitentiary, they got something called a tail.
A what?
It's called a tail, like a 1 to 20, a 2 to 20, a 3 to 20. And they can keep flopping you. The parole board can say, when they come see you, say like you got a 2 to 20, a 3 to 20. The parole board can come see you, and then they can say, well, we'll see you in another 24 months, or we'll see you in another 36 months. Keep going on instead of paroling you out. You have to see a parole board, and they play with a lot of people's lives.
Oh, okay.
To keep you from going home.
What kind of sentence is 2 to 20? That's a big stretch.
Right, and if you got a long tail, they can keep playing with you. Now, if you got a 2 to 5, they can't play with you, or a 1 to 5. Okay.
Because 5, you're out,
Right, so they don't have much to play with you. But a lot of those guys that was in certain organizations and are not coming home.
Is that the Melanics were part of that or something? You think
what are Melanics? The Moors Americans they pick on, the Nation of Islam, even the Aryan Brotherhood they pick on.
And why is that? Because of, were they violent groups of people? Or?
Well, a lot of you have bad apples in all organizations, and everybody that was in the organization not a bad apple. But when you get all the way up in the Upper Peninsula, see, Michigan is a thumb. They send you way up, and these guards are very, very racist, or they haven't really dealt with black people until they see them in the penitentiary. So you all masculine or whatever, and so they'll challenge you or they feel threatened. Your masculinity, they feel threatened. And I was up there a place called Earth, and they really mistreated a lot of us, and just pick at you and just pick at you. And like I say, they started that riot up there. I was up there. I was just in another unit when that happened in 2000.
Uh-huh. Well, you a muscle guy then or something, or you build all those muscles?
Well, I was more
in
cut up
prison?
back then.
That was when you showed me a couple of weeks ago. You put the chokehold on Jesse Ventura. Where is he over here? Jesse's here today too. This is Jesse Ventura, crybaby. A lot of you people will recognize him. What we do, it's Kelvin. That time you put the sleeper hold. Is that a sleeper hold?
That's a sleeper hold.
What happened with the sleeper hold is you press on the carotid artery in the neck, and that puts the guy to sleep. They do that a lot, the Navy SEALs, you know?
Right.
They call it choking out.
But he's not a Navy SEAL.
No, he wasn't a Navy
He's
SEAL.
just an artificial one.
Yeah. So we're doing a choke out on Jesse Ventura. That's what the SEALs do. They do that to each other. Jesse, you give up? You give up? You're going to be good?
Well, he done peed on himself now.
Yeah, Jesse. He kind of really done bad by the people, you know, kind of cheated and lied a lot. And people want to kind of forgive him. But I don't forgive him because he hasn't paid the price yet. He's making more money than ever before.
Oh, yeah.
And now this movie just came out about the American Sniper.
You're right.
Wow, they're raking in the money. American Sniper. So Michael Moore made a statement. He didn't like the snipers. He said some relative of his or somebody was killed in the war by a sniper. He said snipers are cowards. You know, sitting up there with a telescopic sight from a few hundred yards away,
Right.
shooting somebody in the head. It's kind of like that. So now that I've heard some explanation about snipers, I've got mixed emotions about that. You know, I like freedom and I want our military protected and all, but man, shooting people in the head from 300, 400, 500 yards away.
Well, that's a skill.
And he killed 150 or 200 of them. That sniper Kyle.
Yeah, he's an assassin.
He's an assassin.
Right.
Well, you know, we got a lot of special forces troops in America.
Right.
Not just the Army and the Navy, but we got the Green Berets, the Navy SEALs,
Right.
Other special forces type groups. Trained guys.
Right.
But nobody trained to kill like the Navy SEALs.
No.
They really professional guys at that.
Professional killers.
Nobody to play around with over
Not
there.
at all.
They're trained that way. They go through the training. And look, you know, to keep our country free, if that's what we have to have, okay. But a lot of times, the military will go out and bother a country that's bothering us to protect some oil or to protect some resources. And it's not really fair to do that. You know, you send these Navy SEAL guys out, they're a pretty capable bunch of people.
Yeah.
I would mess with them because they're trained to kill. Actually, I saw one video, you know, where a lot of times the guy will get into a fight, you know, and maybe stab a guy.
Right.
But these guys are trained. They go, stab, 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 you know, they kind of they stab you until all your blood comes out. So
Cut your head off.
there's a rate to the Navy SEALs. I appreciate what you're doing, but only do it against the people that are mean to us or bad to us. Don't bother people in Venezuela, Nicaragua trying to do that because you're going to protect some shipments of dope or cocaine or whatever. So I applaud the Navy SEAL. They do real tough training.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're good athletes. They're in good shape.
Right.
And give them a choke out. So there's a Jesse Ventura choke out from Kelvin Burns. So when you were in the joint, as they call it, or something, up in, that's where you were in northern Michigan and
The
something?
Upper Peninsula, across the Mackinac Bridge.
Okay.
And they would have us shackled up and take you across there on the bus, and the bridge is designed to go like this.
Whoa.
And that was scary going across there on that.
Especially you're shackled or something. What's
Yeah.
going to happen if you fall off the bridge?
Yeah, it was a scary experience.
Uh-huh.
Very scary experience.
Well, that's what turns you into a good man, you know, and now you're interested in helping the people. But the Melanics, you say they're still in business, so to speak.
Yes, but they're not letting them have service. They took their religious service away, and they haven't had religious service for 15 years.
Well, that may not be bad, you know, because that religion stuff, people get bogged down in it. And so,
Well, the thing about it, it was a movement to help teach young brothers about themselves. They never talk about the good things that Melanics did. They only talk about the bad things that Melanics did. Never the good things. And like I said, you got rotten apples in all organizations.
Yes.
Okay, now, like the Catholic priests, they didn't shut them down. A lot of them was raping boys. But you shut the Melanics down for an incident that a few people did or what somebody else did. So I'm saying is, you have bad apples in all organizations. But that was an organization they wanted to just take out anyway.
So if we connected up with the Melanics, we wouldn't have a problem with them, would they, or something? I mean,
No.
They're good people these days or something?
They feed the homeless. They feed, in fact, they just did something this Christmas in Detroit, Michigan. Okay?
Oh, so it's not just a prison group.
No.
It's outside.
They're out in the street, too.
Anybody in Minnesota? Melanics in Minnesota?
It's a few. I gathered a few. I used to wear a marionette that looked like this, and I was able to gather a few. Could you put a close up on it? They can see it. And I met a lot of good brothers, but what people don't understand, it wasn't just we had white supporters, and like I said, in the Michigan State Penitentiary, they destroyed this organization. They destroyed it. I had press certificates and other certificates. They just tore them up.
So what were they teaching about in terms of religion? Man, I like the idea of teaching the young brothers about ethics and values and, a certain, but were they teaching off a certain book or?
Sometimes the guys would teach from the Bible and the Quran, but they was teaching black men how to be men, and not just soldier here in the penitentiary, but when you get out, apply some of the stuff that you learned. Okay?
Well,
a lot of guys get out and run straight. And, they don't even think about the organization. They was just in the organization for protection. A lot of people died or not getting out because of this. So I hate when people take the organization and play with it.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad to learn about that.
Right.
Because I want to work with everybody. I want to talk with everybody. I don't care if they're gangs or gangsters or whatever. I grew up next to the mob guys in Brooklyn, New York. That's where I'm from.
Right.
And we had plenty of mob guys over there.
That's right.
And if you didn't behave yourself,
right,
you got hurt really bad. And that happened in a hurry.
Right.
In a hurry.
And
it's good people.
It's good people in all organizations, but everybody want to point the finger at a certain organization. This organization bad, that one bad. You got, like I said, you got rotten apples in all the organizations, and you got good apples.
Well, we don't have any rotten apples in the Earth Protectors. I want to tell
Not at all.
people about that. We're Earth Protectors, a good ethical organization. We don't take any charity. We're not a non-profit, so we're not using government money. The money that we're using to promote what we're doing is our money, our money. Mine, Leslie Davis, Kelvin Burns' time and his money and his energy,
right,
and we're working together to improve things. So we're not a charity, and we don't want your money. We just want you to get to work, pay your bills to society, improve your life, be respectful, be something that your family can smile on. And what Kelvin said, pull your pants up, right?
Pull your pants up, be a man, stand up, take care of your family. It's about family.
So if we don't get shot by the kids that won't pull their pants up or the pork chop eating preachers, well, I wonder who we're talking about there. But they don't know who they are.
Right.
If they're a pork chop eating preacher, they'll know who he is.
If it don't apply, let it fly.
I'll bet he don't eat pork chops anymore after this show is on. If a pork chop eating preacher.
Pork chop eating preachers, and then I'm not just gonna say about the preachers. A lot of the women in the church is not right.
Oh.
They just
now we're going to get it.
2-day Christians, Sunday and Wednesday. A lot of these women in the church, they ain't nothing but Bible-toting hoes. So how you gonna tell the sister on the street about what she doing wrong and you ain't right? Some of them got 2 and 3 boyfriends.
Wow.
They only 2-day Christians. That's what I call them. Wednesday night and Sunday morning Christians. We need more than that.
You know a store that sells a bulletproof vest where I could buy one of those bulletproof vests? I think we're going to need one. You might not, because you'll just bounce a bullet right off your arm. But I might need one from these, what do you call them, the Wednesday night whores?
Wednesday night church goers and Sunday morning church goers. And a lot of these women ain't nothing but Bible-toting hoes. So how you going to say somebody you a Bible-toting hoe?
Well, if you're any one of those people, you better change your ways because Kelvin's got his mind made up about this, about the people that are misbehaving.
Bible-toting hoes.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
I got to tell it like it is. We got to clean the church up. I'm not a part of the church, but if y'all saying that y'all out here to save, stop playing. I know what I done seen. Now, if it don't apply, let it fly.
And I want to let you know that from now on, I'll be wearing a bulletproof vest. So if you try to shoot me, you better shoot me down low because you won't be able to get a bullet
I ain't
past
worried
me.
about no bullet.
But no.
I ain't worried
I'm
about
just
it.
teasing.
But
Yeah.
you know, you might be right. You playing.
Uh-huh.
But we got to tell the truth.
If I was a pork chop eating preacher and I saw this show, I'd want to kind of meet with us and talk about this.
Right.
And cut out eating those pork chops.
Well, they say they're a follower of Christ, but how can you be a follower of Christ and you're not following him all the way?
Well, there we
You
go.
better check the Jewish dietary law talking about you a follower of Christ.
My God can beat up your God. You know,
Yeah.
you gotta-
Then they want to tell you about the New Testament, but Christ said, I didn't come to change the laws of Moses. He said, I come to confirm it. So what you doing changing it, Pastor? Check yourself.
Okay. Boy. Okay, so that's some tough stuff out there, and we put a chokehold on Jesse Ventura. And in the previous show, we spoke about where this money's going to come from because that's what everybody needs. We need a little extra cash. And the state of Minnesota has that money, and they don't want to give it up. They want to build an office building, which they're doing now, for $70, $80, $90 million. They want to build a light rail line from Minneapolis to Eden Prairie.
Right.
Who's going to ride from Minneapolis to Eden Prairie? Nobody I know is going to ride from Minneapolis to Eden Prairie or any place in between, and they're all coming by car now. So I'm not for that. It's going to cost $1.5 billion, $50 million for Nicollet Mall, $10 million for the sculpture garden. Come on,
We could do something else with that money.
we need some money in the neighborhood. We need money for clothes and books and fix up the house a little bit, or whatever it is. We're short. Nobody I know really that's barely making it through the month.
And the housing. We could spend that money on housing.
And if we design, we want to talk about affordable housing.
Affordable housing.
You build affordable housing. You build smaller units. You could put a single man in a small apartment.
That's
you
right.
could take a space the size of the little room we're shooting in.
That's right.
And you divide it up properly.
That's right.
And connect that guy up, and he's got some internet and he's got some phone. He can have a job right out of his house doing data processing.
That's right.
We'll train him. If you call us, we'll help you train. We'll help you train in computer, understanding the new technologies of today. Get a job, because if you don't have a job and you don't have any money. So we're giving a lot of lessons, and all, but we got a lot of experience. We're not afraid.
No.
We're not prejudiced. White or, well, everybody's a little prejudiced, but not because, there's some black people I don't like, and not because they're black. They're because they're bad people.
Well, I got a friend. It's funny that you mentioned. I got a buddy. I told him last week, and he got mad at me because I told him don't nothing drop out of the sky. So he said, don't talk about what I believe in, and I won't talk about what you believe in. But money don't drop out the sky. That's wishful thinking. That's another thing they teach in the church. Ain't no pies coming out of the sky.
Oh, so he didn't like the idea that you question his belief or his religious.
But pie, nothing come out of the sky. You got to work for what you want. You got to plant the seed. The seed don't just get planted on its own. You got to plant the seed and watch something grow.
Right.
The things just don't drop out of the sky.